Okay, gang, I told you I'd see you soon. So now we're going to cover the MindShift BackLight 36L backpack. And I like this pack also. It is very comfortable. As you can see, there's tons of padding here. It's also got a lot of nice padding in these straps for the your shoulder straps. There's a lot of padding for lumbar support. It's not too big, it's not too small for me anyway. I think it's just right. So you've got side pouches where you can stuff extra gear in. I take my photography logbook. I keep my photography logbook in here, but I can also get my hydro flask up to a 32 ounce in here, even though that sticks out pretty far. I usually just travel with my 20 ouncer. But you've got nice deep pouches right on the side where you can reach right back and get whatever you need, especially if it's a water bottle. You've got a very tight storage space up here at the very, very top. And I usually keep just some extra screen protectors and screen covers and whatnot up here. But primarily what's up here is your, if I can get to it, like I said, it's pretty tight. Oh wait, no, I'm in the wrong area. This is just for storage. The area for your tripod holder, because it's marked as your tripod holder, is up here. So if you're going to attach your tripod directly to the back of this backpack, this is the top part for strapping across the top, and then down here is where the other strap is, and a pouch. So you can slot your tripod into here, secure it with this strap low, and secure it with this strap high, and it's very handy. It's very handy. It's pretty slick. So it's also very convenient, and it keeps the tripod weight-wise centered right on the pack instead of off to one side if you stuffed it in one of your side pouches here. So I really like that feature. I like it a lot. And when you're not using it, you just tuck it away. As you can see, the hip straps or hip pads fold over behind this, and this helps if you're trying to stuff it into the overhead of a regional carrier, which this will fit into. The reason why this is a little bit more bulbous across the backside is I've got all kinds of extra gear back here. I've got my small, it's not a hydrophobia, but it's still a think tank rain cover, a couple of extra pouches. I've also got the backlight rain cover, because I always get a rain cover, and that's the great thing about MindShift and Think Tank gear. All of their packs come with a rain cover, including their rollers, their rolling bags. They come with a rain cover, which is fantastic because this was a $350 backpack. So a little bit more expensive than the f-stop Tilopa, but also very, very nice, very nice. There's plenty of room in this outer pouch, and then you've also got attachment points here for gear if you're going to be, because this is an outdoor backpack. This is not considered a city traveler backpack. They have a whole different brand for that one. I think it's called the Streetwalker series. This is the MindShift BackLight series, and it's strictly for, or for the most part, outdoor use. So you've got all kinds of attachment points for extra gear, outdoor gear if you needed it to. And then you've got this other pouch for storing your gear in, which includes enough space for a covered MacBook Pro. So I've got my MacBook Pro case in there. I've got my extra iPad getting here, and this is just to simulate the 11-inch iPad Pro that I've got. But that will easily fit in here. I also keep my lens calibration tool in here. That fits pretty easily. And there's all kinds of extra pockets for pins and extra gear, your business cards and whatnot. Heck, I even keep my ultimate lens hoods in here. No problem. It all fits just fine. So, now, let's get to the guts of this thing. This is an awesome pack. I really enjoy this pack. It's not versatile in the sense that the f-stop is, but at the same token, the f-stop was $319, and then I had to spend another $100 for the ICU, the large ICU, the large Pro XL ICU was $119. So that easily took us well over 400 plus bucks. At $350-ish, depending on where you get it from, this backpack came with the rain pouch. It came with all the extra gear that I would need. The only difference is the camera housing area. It's not removable. It's all completely fixed, but you got a lot of space. So using these really nice big zippers and the nice big thumb grips, you can just whip it right down and voila. Normally this sits here. This is just my MindShift gear bag that holds my chargers and whatnot. But as you can see, I have tons of room in here. Same thing, I've got the same Canon 70 and 60 Mark II in here, my 70 to 200, 85 mil prime, 24 to 70, 16 to 35, as well as my MindShift bag, and this is where all my flash equipment stays. It sits here, flash and cleaning equipment, which I probably want to separate those. And this is a couple of extra gear pouches where I keep some cables and spare cables and whatnot in here that don't fit in the cable attic. And that's why this pack sticks up a little bit higher than 23 inches. It's, you know, just shy of 24. It's because it has this little attic area where you can keep things like your camera strap and my DJI Ronin S extra gear and cables and whatnot, and then the charger fits up here. And there's quite a bit of space up here in this cable attic. Now the BackLight 36 liter has a cable attic, the 26 liter does not, so keep that in mind if you decide that you're going to buy the 26 liter instead. It doesn't stick up quite as high, but it also doesn't have this cable attic where you can store this extra gear. So, and that's quite handy. I enjoy this cable attic quite a bit. But again, this camera area for all your gear is not removable, but it is highly configurable. It comes with a ton of dividers like this where you can configure this pretty much any way you want to. And there's a lot of space in here. There's a ton of space in here. I can get, actually, in a way, more gear in here than I can in my f-stop large ICU. The only thing that would beat this would be the extra large Pro ICU. So I can get a lot of gear in here, but again, that's all photography gear. It's not as if I can use it for another purpose and then take photography gear with me like I can with the f-stop, but it does have its own purpose. So if it's just strictly going to be a photography day, a shooting day, I don't have to worry about lugging extra camping gear or a hammock or sunshade or anything like that, then I will use this hands down. And I mainly use it for my city shoots, even though they have a Streetwalker. I picked this one, a Streetwalker series. The Streetwalker series opens from the back, from the front. So if you're walking down the street and you didn't properly zip your bag, something can fall out. Or if you're in somewhere where there are thieves, or if you're in close proximity with people, say on a subway, they can unzip that backpack if you don't feel it and then start pulling gear out. Whereas this one's more secure because it's up against your back. The only thing they're gonna get to back here is maybe your laptop. And depending on what kind of gear you're rolling, that laptop is probably less expensive than anything that's sitting in here. So, or most of the stuff that's sitting in here. But anyway, I like this pack. It serves its own purpose, but it's just a different purpose than what you would use the f-stop for. The f-stop, you can take the ICU out and put in a smaller ICU for minimal camera gear and then get everything else in there that you need. As opposed to this one, it's all camera gear. Unless you're going to apportion part of this internal area for personal gear. And you still got room for personal gear in this outer pouch here, or this upper pouch, and then the outer pouch there. You can get some things in here. I can get my spare clothes in here. I can get my sunglasses in here. I can get my Bose noise canceling headphones in here. I can get that in here. But it's not going to be the same ergonomic fit for me traveling as, say, the f-stop. So my new MO is I will pack this in my check bag, and I'm going to carry on the f-stop. And depending on where I'm going and what I'm going to do, I've got both of them for whatever my needs may or may not be. So I'll get some other gear in here, like for example, the DJI Ronin gear is all going to end up being housed in here. And then I'll keep all the camera gear with me on the plane. And then I'll just check this inside of my bag because not like I don't like my DJI Ronin, I just certainly would rather, if that's going to get lost in a bag somewhere, I'd rather lose that than my 70 to 200 f2 or 2.8. So that's a pretty easy choice there. So anyway, I'm sorry, I forgot about the extra compartments here. They're not terribly big, but they do stretch. So, but keep in mind though, if you stuff this full of something that is abrasive and you close this up against your bag, you might be scratching some of your camera gear. So for the most part, the only thing I leave in here are microfiber wipes and maybe an instruction booklet or something like that, or my business cards or what have you. I might just stuff those in there and that's it. That's the only thing I care about. This neck strap for use in case you were ever going to invert or turn your workstation around on your back and dig your camera gear out. I don't really use this that much. I keep it stuffed in this upper pouch, but for the most part, yeah, I don't use this. I just leave this exactly where it's at. So I like both bags. I like the f-stop Tilopa. I like this bag. They both serve their purposes and for different uses depending on where you're going and what you're doing. But is it worth 350 bucks? Yeah, I'd say so. Is the f-stop worth $319 and then you got to pay the extra $99 for the ICU, large ICU, or $119 for the extra large Pro ICU? Yeah, I mean, again, they both serve different purposes, and depending on what kind of trip you're packing out for, you're going to need one or the other, depending on the situation and what the needs of your shoot are or your travel requirements are. So I really thought I'd be able to narrow it down to one bag or the other, but after using both bags and using them for different purposes depending on what I'm packing out for, I see a need for them both. So I'm just going to keep them. I'm going to keep them both. I'm going to use them both accordingly based off of my travels and what I plan on doing, and just going to enjoy them until they fall apart, and then it'll be time to find a new one. So in the meantime, I hope this video helped you figure out which one you might want, or if you decide you're going to get them both. I'm sure f-stop and MindShift won't be unhappy about that, neither of which I am sponsored by. I'm just simply saying this is my opinion, and I hope it helps you make a decision as to which bag that you're going to use for your photography and travel needs. So thank you very much for watching. Take it easy.